Hey guys, it's Clark here with Kings Armada Entertainment. I'm sitting down with Sean of The Weak Need. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Good. Okay, so you're not the only member of the band.
Nope.
There are a few others. Would you mind introducing them and tell me kind of what they do?
Sure, yeah. Rob Brayshaw, who's the original member, along with myself, plays rhythm guitar. Tony Lind is lead guitar, and friend Dan Todd is playing drums, and we're still looking for a bass player.
Okay, nice. So if you guys play bass,
That's right.
contact them.
That's right.
What do you do?
Gosh. I write, I sing, so lead vocals, all the background vocals, all the keyboards. Sitting here in the studio, I do all the editing, mixing, recording, production, everything.
The heart and soul.
Absolutely.
Okay, so where did you get this inspiration for the name The Weak Need?
That oddly enough, there's no great story with that. I just woke up one morning years ago and just thinking of band names, and it was The Weak Need. The album Restitution, I wrote very much in a double entendre sort of way, almost like a U2. Like there's a message there,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you spin it and how you look at it, which I really love when I write. So the band name sort of blended well with that. Kind
Nice.
of that. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah, good. Okay, so I noticed on the band bio on your website that you stepped down. It said that it was because it was no longer becoming a joy to kind of do what you were doing. So can you tell me a little bit of what kind of led up to it becoming less of a joy and more of a chore, and then what was the result and where you are now?
Sure, yeah. At that point, again, I do all of this, and I absolutely love doing all of this. But I felt, as much as I would invite the other guys in the band, hey, come sit with me while I'm mixing, come on, I love your opinions on stuff. There just wasn't that, I felt, drive from the other guys in the band to kind of really get involved.
Yeah.
So practices just kind of became, 5 guys kind of hanging out playing the same tunes, and
Yeah.
it's just like, no, this isn't, I know we're called for something greater. I believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, everything just kind of plateaued. So the hardest decision I had to make was just say, okay, we're done. With this group of guys, like it's just not working, so it was, I had to step out. Why is it different now? I don't think it is that different. I mean, I'm still doing the majority load of the work, but I mean, that's what I went to school for, and this is what I love, and this is what I'm passionate about. I mean, I can spend 18 hours here in the studio, working on one song, and I absolutely love it. It's a joy. I think what makes it different now is the group of guys, that are all a part of this now. We all share the same kind of vision, the same dream. Everyone's getting involved with this, and it's sort of reinvigorated me to go, all right, I'm in, let's go.
Good. So The Weak Need has 5 different albums / EPs, and you're working on a 6th now.
Yes, we are.
Secret. No information on that. You guys
That's
have
right.
to
We're
wait.
keeping this one tight.
Okay, so what can you kind of explain, like the lyrical focus and the musical focus for each record that came out?
Sure. Yeah. Walk is the very first one, and that's one I don't talk about too much. It's one of those, I think, you want to keep buried.
Yeah.
In 20 years you don't want someone to go, hey, remember this? No. That was sort of my I guess inaugural kind of, here we go, I want to start doing something. So I wrote Walk, and it was just a bunch of songs I just had in my head, but I used Walk to kind of go out and find actual players, like, hey, here's what I'm doing, if you're interested, let me know. And then Restitution, like I alluded to earlier, was very much of a double entendre kind of thing. There's been a lot of discussion in the band as far as marketing. Do we want to be a Christian band that plays clubs, or do we want to be a band that's known as Christians?
Mm.
kind of like a Switchfoot kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're mainstream, but if you ask them, they'll say, yeah, we're Christians and we make no bones about it. You know, the danger is when you say we're a Christian band, you kind of limit your market.
Yeah.
You know, and my dream from day one, and I've said this to every member of the band, is to worship in front of thousands of people that have no idea what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
as far as worship goes, but they walk away going, "That man, there was just something about that." So that Restitution was written sort of like that, to reach people, you know, that if they looked at the lyrics, and there are a couple songs where it states, you know, kind of our faith and what we believe, but that's why I wrote it that way. Everything But You was it was just a whole smattering. I just had a lot of crap going on in my life, because we had just changed some band members, just where I was in my life. It was starting not to get fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was just a whole smattering of cries out to God. I mean, there's just a song on there called "This Is Me, God," and just that is the most powerfully intense gift I've ever been given as far as songs go. I mean, there's a whole story behind that. But that one was just a whole bunch of where I was at. And it was right after that one that I stepped back out of the band. But I still had lots of songs that I wanted to write.
Mm-hmm.
So I started writing the next day. After that band practice, I started writing the next day, and the very first song I wrote is called Song 1, and it's still one of my favorite songs, and it's about kind of that stepping back, because I got up and looked at myself in the mirror and said, all right, well, now what? I got no band. Like, what am I gonna do? And the first line of the song is, look at me one last time and tell me exactly what you see. You've abandoned your dreams. Now breathe in and let's begin again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was the very first song I wrote for Ready for Rome, and I left it called Song 1. And it's still one of my favorite songs. So I finished that, released it. I used no real players on it aside from one or two tracks. Everything else was kind of loops and samples from my library, samples off of previous albums that I've just manipulated. And so I finished that, and then literally after that was released online, the next day I started writing an EP, which was The Ascent. And again, written kind of, you know, there's some relationship stuff. I just gotten remarried, so there's a couple songs to my wife on there. There's some fun songs. It was just it was awesome. And then now last year I started writing this project.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure. So you mentioned to me before that there were some awards and nominations for some of these albums. You mind maybe mentioning to the fans what you've been nominated for?
Sure, yeah. In 2009, the CD Restitution was nominated here in Canada for a Gospel Music Award for recording Alternative Album of the Year, which was great. And then I've received two. I finished top 5 in 2 international songwriting competitions, so which I thought was very cool. Competing with people from around the world on songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good. I mean, there's been smaller awards, you know, competitions that, you know, I'm always sending stuff off, but the GMA is probably the bigger one. I've chose not to the last couple of years to submit in for awards, because I want to be poised as the band to go, okay, this is us, this is the new sound, here we go,
Mm-hmm.
we're on our way, you know. And now, you know, I wanted to be in a place where the foundation was in place, I guess, with the guys, and now we go, okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, so what was you've mentioned that you had a couple favorite songs. Which one of yours would you say was your favorite that you've written?
I think probably song one, the one I was just talking about, is probably one of my favorites. But the other one I mentioned, "This Is Me, God," um, be, because of just where I was emotionally. And do you want me to tell you the story of that? Yeah. It was my ex-wife now and I. We were going through a divorce, and I thought, you know what? I bet you if I go down and re-record the song I wrote for our wedding, I'm gonna redo it, and that'll make her happy, and that kind of thing. So I went and I did that the one day, and I was just turning the studio off, and I just had this sense of, no, you're not done. And I've learned, what that nudge is, what that voice is. So I said, all right, okay. So I sat back down, turned my keyboards back on, and I just sat there and just started playing. I had no clue why, and then all of a sudden it was like I had this just incredible energy, just kind of start to flow, and I started playing, and I can see it. It was still on that pad of paper there. I had sitting beside me, and I started writing lyrics and playing, and I was weeping. I was sobbing because it was just such a raw. It starts off, "This is me, God, I am broken at the cross, and I am counting on the words that you've spoken to comfort me in loss." And it's just raw. I have nothing left in me to go on. This is just me. Help. And it was probably about 25 minutes, and the song was done. And I honestly, I could not keep up with the lyrics that were coming, and I'm playing, and okay, so this is a chorus, and it was just, by the time I was done, I was just emotionally and physically just drained. And I was just like, wow, and that was a song. I didn't go back and tweak the vocal on it. That's the original vocal that's on it, was the one that I recorded. And it was just one of those songs, and it's just reached a lot of people, and it's good to get that feedback of, man, I needed that tune. And that's always my goal. I have these debates often with my wife. I don't need to be famous. I really don't. I have nothing in me that's craving spotlight or anything. I need to be used to be the person I was created to be. And if that song, "This Is Me, God," if it was God's purpose for that song to reach this person, and it did, man, I'm a happy guy. I have done what I needed to do, and all I want is God to say, thank you for listening. Yes, thank you for sitting back down and not going out for a bike ride or something. Yeah. Thank you. And I'm absolutely cool with that. I just want to write with the talents that I have, and get that out, and let God open those doors to where it needs to go. I walk by faith through all of this. Everything is prayed over, and Lord, open the doors that need to be open, and close the ones that need to be closed, and give me the peace, that my flesh doesn't get involved, and say, why, this is the best opportunity. Okay, all right, okay, then I will go here. So
very good, very good. Okay, so as we have said before, you have 5 recording albums. So which song would you suggest to a fan that kind of sums up the sound or the lyrical genius behind The Weak Need? What one song really pinpoints it?
I don't know. That's a tough one, because every album, I don't write for a specific style. It's funny, on Restitution we got a lot of comparisons to Pink Floyd, and I'm telling you now, I have never sat down and listened to a Pink Floyd album. Never. I mean, I've heard songs on the radio, and in college, guys would play it at the parties, but I've never sat down and listened to a Floyd album. I write kind of what moves me. I'll hear a drum groove and go, I got to write around this. So they're all really different. I mean, on Restitution, Ferris Wheel is kind of the rocker, and the crowd favorite. On Everything But You, there's I gotta look at what do I think the favorite one is. Created is probably one, because it speaks to why I'm created to do this.
Mhm.
You know, I know I've been created to write the words that you've given me. You know, and I'm humbled that you've chosen me to do this. It's probably, and This Is Me, God is on there. Ready for Rome. Oh, I don't know. Probably song one for sure. Yeah, it would be song one. Ready for Rome. The Ascent. I like them all. I mean, they're all my, this one's upbeat. This one's my favorite. This one was written out of this place, so this is my favorite. But probably song one is probably most telltale and created to give you a good cross section of what Gravity is, kind of very U2-ish. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's sort of an ambiguous answer.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, go check that out. Created and
Love
Song
Created.
1.
Yeah, song one. Yeah, for sure.
So go hit those ones up on their page, and I'll put links and stuff for that later. So your newest album, The Ascent, kind of has a different sound than the rest of the albums.
Yep.
What kind of drove you to focus there?
Again, there weren't any players, actual players, on The Ascent, aside from, I don't remember off the top of my head what song it was. I needed an actual bass line, because everything from the computer, I couldn't get that feel that I wanted. So everything was just kind of drum loops, guitar loops, on the keyboard, just creating textures. So it's kind of different, because I used the tools that I had instead of the band.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of what gave it that different sound, but still with the Weak Kneed sort of vibe on it. I guess, my vocals, I always love to at least double track my lead vocals. Sometimes, actually, I was making note last night on the one tune. For the new album, I want to put 6 tracks of lead vocal and just layer all 6 together, just because it needs that lush kind of Peter Gabriel kind of sound to it. So yeah, I mean, that, like I said, every album sort of got a different spin depending on what I'm listening to at the time, and the common thread is just really kind of the vocal, kind of like a Coldplay tune. You hear, as soon as you hear it, you go, yeah, it's Coldplay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of cool. La Vida is different than Parachutes, and but it's still Coldplay. So kind of the same thing.
Good. Okay, so you've kind of hinted at this before, but what's your inspiration for doing what you do and for writing music and your lyrics and stuff? Why? Like, what really drives your passion for this?
Because I know that that's my purpose. I know that's what I was created to do. Which might sound odd to some people, but it's something just inherent in me, through different prophecies that I have had, and just in prayer. It's, Lord, if this isn't where I'm supposed to be, then you need to speak to me, or speak to someone else that can bring it to me. Because sometimes we don't often get out of our flesh enough to actually listen to what God is saying. So whenever I'm praying for something, it's, give it to me or someone else, to bring it to me and give me the ears to hear it. So I just have a desire to, I love music, and I want to get what I believe God has given me to say out there. So I don't believe God blesses us with gifts and talents to see them unused. He wants to see those fulfilled. We always battle timelines, because we're like, yeah, I want to be out there now. I want to be on. No. And that's where this faith thing comes in. Oftentimes I'm like, why? It's been 7 years. I got good players. We get nominated. Okay, Lord, I give it to you. This is all your time. It doesn't mean that we don't stay dormant with it. I mean, we still have to take that step and then God provides, the miracle. But it's
Mhm.
that step of faith kind of thing. And this one is a step of faith again. It's like, okay, it may go nowhere, but it might reach that one person,
Yeah.
and that's all I want, and I'm absolutely happy with that.
Good. Very good. So, fun question. What Christian vocalist do you think has the best voice out there today?
Oh, hands down, I'll tell you, just not even a second guess, is my absolute favorite band called The Choir.
The Choir. Yeah.
Yep. Been following them since 1988 when they played in Kitchener at a concert event called Green Fest. Great, quick little story with that on Everything But You. Everything But You, James. Oh, crap. No, it was on Ready for Rome. Yep, song one was on there. On Ready for Rome, one of the tracks, I emailed the drummer from The Choir the one day and I said, I love this new tune of yours. I love the drum track. I know it's probably no, but can I use your drum track? So he said, yeah, absolutely. So he sent me up their whole album, all the mix stems.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got like the lead vocals and the guitars, like everything, and he said just give me credit on it. So I'm like, yeah, all right. So I got to write James 1 is the name of the song, which is another one of my favorites. But it's written around their drum track off of one of their albums. I didn't edit it. It was like pop the drum track in and now start writing. Rob and I are heading to Nashville in a few weeks, and I emailed the lead singer and the drummer saying, hey, we're coming down, I'd love to hang out, and they got back to us and said, yeah, absolutely, when your dates firm up, give us a call and we'll go for coffee.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
that's my highlight so far.
Yeah.
It's absolutely cool. But yeah, The Choir, Derry, just love his vocals, love their approach, love their writing, just absolute favorite band of all time.
All right. So we're in Canada, for those of you who don't know. So what's your favorite part about Canada? What do you like most about being here?
As far as music goes, or just
Anything, just anything at all.
it's just the freedom that we have, and I know it's a catch-all kind of answer, but broken down to its elements, despite in spite of what's going on, in the world, look at where we live and all the freedoms that we have. I mean, could I be doing this without fear somewhere else? Bosnia, Hong Kong, I mean, Korea, I guess my answer is yes, and I would do it if that's what I was asked to do. But I mean, this is where we are. I mean, it's just an amazing place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, when you were younger, did you see yourself being a musician, or did you have a different career path in mind? And so, where was kind of that T point where you went towards music?
Sure. Yeah, I think I wanted to be a farmer, an astronaut, police officer, paramedic. But the turning point for me was 1989 on my motorcycle when I got hit by a drunk driver. And ended up in the hospital with broken knees, broken foot. And then when the insurance came around and they wanted to pay me out for my bike, I couldn't ride, and I thought, well, I was stuck at home because I couldn't walk, so I went out and bought my first keyboard and started. I mean, I'd taken piano lessons all my life, but I bought a keyboard, Roland D20.
Okay, so our final question for today is, what is your favorite verse that gives you inspiration, or section of verse that really just speaks to you?
Yep. James 1, where it says, I think starting verse 3, count it pure joy, my brothers, when, paraphrasing, when trials and troubles come your way, because this is where your faith is strengthened. My journey has always been about faith. It was a hard lesson for me. to learn. But that's what it is, and that's why I wrote James 1, all about that. You know, sometimes it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you know, but it's for a purpose, you know, and it's understanding when you are in the fire, honestly, as crappy as it is, that's an exciting time for me. When there's just crap going on in every aspect or any aspect of my life, because I know that's the refining. And when we come out of that, as long as we're obedient to Christ, when we come out of that, there's blessing and there's a reprieve, and then you're into the next fire, because that's how we grow as Christians. You know, and in those fires, it's setting our flesh aside and going, Lord, you know, this is Daniel, you know, this is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you know, this is Noah, this is everyone that says, okay, all right, I've heard you say that, you know, if we call on you, that you are there, so okay, on faith, guide me, you know. So James 1 is all about that.
Very good. So we're done with the questions. So now we're going to move on to a challenge. So I'm going to have Sean here draw his face on this piece of paper.
Not draw on my face?
No, not draw on your face. We're going to have you draw your face. And we will give that away along with these 3 CDs to a fan who can answer our question, which we will talk about later. So whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, I have no artistic skill, as I often say. Even my stick people turn out fat. So I will draw the only face that I know how to draw. And I think I started drawing this in like grade 7. But I'll put my little earrings in there. And
there we go.
I think his official name was Humble Harry.
Humble Harry.
And that was, like I said, in grade 7.
There you guys. There we go.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah. Very good. So we'll be giving away that along with these 3 CDs. So thank you for having fun drawing. So my supporter is the Christian Armory in Woodstock. So if you're ever down there, we got a $20 gift card along with some discounts and 20% off coupons. So
awesome.
That is for you.
Awesome.
So thank you very much for doing this.
No worries. And you should mention all of this stuff is for free on Noise Trade.
Yep.
If
you can go download this, all of it.
Yep. Noisetrade.com /theweekneed. All of our CDs are for free download.
There you go. So you guys can check that out. Now, can you think of an animal? Don't say it out loud. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got your animals. So now, 3 one-word answers to give your fans a hint so that when they guess, this is what they will be winning.
Okay. Raccoon, ringer, scent sack.
Scent sack. Okay. So there's your 3 hints to guess the animal that Sean here has thought of. So remember, I'm not accepting answers on the Weak Needs page. I'm not accepting answers on YouTube. It is just the Kings Armada Entertainment Facebook page. So you have to go there, first person to comment, and I will ship you these. Okay? So that's pretty much it for today, guys. So I will throw some links down in the description of the videos of my pages and your pages.
Sure.
Remember to like and subscribe. Get him a lot of likes and subscribe so a lot of more people can just take part in listening to his great music. So thank you very much for doing this with me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching, guys.